Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm super excited for. I've had a few requests asking questions about how Joe and I plan our trips, and I decided to break it down. I wrote it all out. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any travel tips, let me know. Obviously not an expert in this. We don't do a ton of traveling, but whether it be a cruise, a week vacation, or even just a weekend trip, I really enjoy just planning it out. It's just, I'm a planner and it's what I like to do. And I find that we're able to always see and do a ton of stuff in a short amount of time, and I get a lot of questions about it, so I just wanted to share what we do. I kind of broke it down into 6 different steps. I'm just gonna go through those with you guys. Step number 1 is obviously picking a location and booking the trip. I tend to use Orbitz a lot for hotels or flights. I like that when you book through them, they give you credit. It's a certain percentage from what you paid, and it goes into your account, and you can build that up to use as a credit for your next trip, which I think is super helpful, because if you're gonna book it anyway, you might as well be getting credit for it. They also sometimes have really good deals and coupons. When we did a group trip to Vegas, I used Orbitz, and I just had this feeling that I would be able to find a coupon. So it was as simple as Google searching Orbitz coupons, and I found this crazy coupon for almost $200 off our hotel, which that's a really good deal. So take the time to just simply Google search so-and-so coupon, no matter what you're doing, because there's like a 50% chance you could find a really good coupon. And for people that are worried about booking through Orbitz because they're technically a third-party site, I wouldn't worry about it at all, as long as you buy the trip protection that they offer with everything. We booked a flight through them a few years ago, and our flight got canceled because of a snowstorm, and we had the trip protection. We were refunded the full amount in less than 24 hours. So I can definitely vouch for them on that. As long as you buy that extra, it's like usually $20 to $30 when you're checking out. If your trip gets canceled, it might give you that money back, versus I can't vouch for booking on Orbitz without the trip protection, because my husband and I just have bad luck traveling, so I always buy it. Another app that I use on my phone is Hopper, Hopper. It looks like the icon's a little bunny. So this one breaks it down for flights into a calendar diagram, and it's color coded. So you put in, you know, where you're leaving from, where you're going, the dates, and it gives each day a color. So say something's red, that means it's the most expensive to fly out on that day. Orange meaning it's okay, but it's still not the cheapest, and green meaning that's the cheapest day to fly out on. If you have flexible dates, like you can leave for your trip a day earlier and it's green, it's worth it, because it could be saving you a couple $100 depending on how many people are flying. If you can make your trip more flexible by leaving a day early or later, same on coming home a day earlier or later, it could save you hundreds of dollars. I've also used Google Flights before, which is the same idea of breaking it down into what days are the cheapest, but it's more in a graph form, so it's just whatever visual you prefer. We've been using Airbnb a lot instead of booking hotels. We just find that usually it's a better deal, especially say in like Boston. A hotel near TD Garden is $300 to $400 a night, versus we had an Airbnb within walking distance and it was less than $200 a night. We do tend to use Airbnb quite a bit lately, now that it's become more popular. I'd also like to mention that Airbnb's customer service is really great. We had booked an Airbnb in Boston a few years ago, and when we got there, the shower was gutted. Yes, the shower was gutted. Neither of us could believe it. I tried getting a hold of the guy. He would not even write me back. We were both shocked because, okay, the TV's broke, you know, 2 days without the TV. Okay, maybe even just the sink is broke or something. But the shower for 2 people for 2 days? He ended up writing me as our trip was coming to an end, saying he had another property that we could stay at. It was like 9 o'clock at night. It was after the Celtics game. We're like, no, we'll just go back. We're headed home tomorrow. We're not gonna move all our stuff across the city for his other Airbnb. He supposedly said it was supposed to be fixed the day we were getting there. Who knows? So he refused to give us any money back. And I just contacted the customer service of Airbnb. I sent them some photos of the shower. They looked into it, obviously, but they gave us half of our money back with a $25 credit towards our next Airbnb stay. So they reminded me a lot of Amazon customer service. They were really easy to work with. They clearly care about you and trust you. We are on to question number 2. After you've picked your location, you've booked your flight, you've booked your amenities, it is, what is your intention? So this is a big part of planning your trip. A lot is going to make up the answer to this question. So is your intention to have a relaxing vacation away from your kids, away from work, not to plan anything, to simply sit in the sun, by the pool, by the ocean, on the cruise ship, go to a lake house, not leave for a week? Or is your intention to explore, to go to different restaurants, to go on hikes, to go on a cruise ship and get off at every port and go and do an adventure? Or is your intention to mix the two, to have some days where you're relaxing, nothing's planned, and other days full of plans? And all 3 of those options are great. We have definitely done a great mix of the 3. My husband and I are definitely the type of people that would probably choose the explore over the relax. Yes, we love to relax, but we just really love to get out there and try new things and go to new places, go on crazy hiking trails that you have to dive off a rock with your waterproof backpack to go into a blue cave under this cliff. Yes, we've done that. I wouldn't say we're like totally crazy, but some points in our trips we look at each other like, are we really buying this third-party scooter to scooter around an entire island for the day while everyone else has booked their cruise excursions through an insured company? You know, that's just kind of how we are. You really need to ask yourself that question. What is your intention on your vacation? What is the purpose of this trip? Okay, very important. I cannot stress that enough. A couple things that just go into that question are, who are the people involved in this trip? Is it a couples trip? Is it a solo trip? Are you going by yourself? Is it a friends trip? College friends, high school friends, work friends, all different. Is it a family trip? Is it with your grandparents? Is it a mom-daughter trip? Things to consider: ages, activity levels. Do you have familiar interests? That is number 1 to me. Obviously, not all trips are meant for fun and exploring and doing things as a group, but I will say it's very hard to travel with people that you do not share familiar interests with. I don't mean that you have to be best friends and have all the same exact interests, but if you are completely different people that would butt heads constantly in real life, you're not gonna want to travel with them. Just FYI. I know there are a lot of different types of traveling and trips, and we've done a great mix of it all. So it's really important to know who you're traveling with and how to accommodate that. Are there children? You know, we have a 6-year-old nephew. We know that when we do things with him or take him places, that it needs to be accommodating for him. He's not just gonna want to be doing adult things all day, but also maybe we don't want to be doing kid things all day. So what's a good mix of the two? Number 3, what are your plans? This is obviously based on the question before. And a great way to look up these plans, I break it down into two. You can do a real simple search. That entails a Google search, Yelp reviews, Google reviews. It doesn't get much easier than that. As long as you have a smartphone, computer access, just internet, you can do a Google search. Google, Nashville, Tennessee, must do. There's gonna be plenty of options on that first search page for you to pick from. Little more complex. Do you use Instagram, YouTube? Do a Google search of Nashville blog. Those three things are gonna get you more detailed answers on things to do on where you're looking to go. Personally, I love Instagram. I love it for myself. I love it for planning trips. There is a search bar at the bottom of Instagram where you can search cities, towns, restaurants, anything, hiking trails. It will show you all the pictures that other people have tagged that place in. I don't think there's any better review of food than people's photographs. Look through them. Look up that restaurant that you heard about in Nashville. How does it look on Instagram? Are there 2 posts? Are there 2,000 posts about it? It gives you a really good sense of, am I gonna like this place? Is this the type of place for me or is it not? YouTube, what I'm doing right now. Do a YouTube search. Couples Nashville trip, girls Nashville trip, bachelorette party in Nashville. You will find hundreds of videos, some quality content and some that might not help you, but a video is pretty easy to just zoom through and get an idea of if you're gonna like what these people are doing or not. As you're looking through all of these different platforms, which I use everything that I just mentioned above to plan a trip. I use Google, I search vlogs, I search blogs, I search YouTube. I definitely search Instagram, Facebook too, and I take all that data together and I break it down into, okay, these are the restaurants I found, these are the bars, these are the nighttime activities, here's some breakfast, lunch, and dinner ideas, here's some outdoor activities, here's some indoor rainy day activities. It's really great to organize these things into their own lists and sit down and look at it. Now, write down anything that interests you. Anything that you find is potential. So just write it down. Your list might start to look crazy. You might have 5 weeks worth of exploring written down. Even though you're going for a week, it's okay, I promise. You're going to have multiple drafts. I like to, as I'm looking, just write it down on paper and organize it in those topics that I just said. If you're more of a computer person, type it in a Word document, Google Doc, whatever makes you happy. You have all that written out, all these ideas. The next thing to do is for everyone in your trip to look at that and pick a must-do, or to ask the people to find their must-dos. So this is so important to me because if I went on a group trip and I know that I had a great time, but say I'm just catching a vibe from someone else that was with us that didn't seem as excited, how crappy is that to know that you just planned that whole thing based on you and so-and-so's interests, but not the next person? So the least you could do is to ask each person to pick out one must-do. So what picking out one must-do, sorry, that sounds a little confusing. It gives everyone on the trip an equal chance to express what they would like to do. And it doesn't have to be one, it could be multiple. What they would like to do, what their interests are. That way, the trip is a great combination of what everyone would like to do. And you may get people that say, I'm fine with whatever, and then it makes your life easier planning it. But don't just assume that because they're your friend that they're fine with whatever. You know, maybe they don't get to travel, or maybe this is somewhere they've been eyeing to do a trip at for a while and they have looked into it already and found things. Take everyone's ideas into account before you just decide, okay, this is what we're doing, because that's just rude. So now we are on step number 4. Okay, so we are up to the point where you have somewhere written down, typed, saved, everything that you're interested in doing on this trip along with who you're traveling with. So step number 4 is to utilize your Google Map or any map app, not just Google. Use it on your phone, use it on your laptop. Either way is fine. What I like to do is I pinpoint where we are staying, our Airbnb or our hotel. And I print it out so that, say this is the pinpoint, and then I have about this much map around it. You know, maybe like a 5-mile radius around it to start. Maybe more to start, maybe like 8 around it to start. And then I break it down even further. You're going to be pinpointing the places that you're interested in by little color-coded dots. It's easier than it sounds. You have your rough draft list. Say you have 10 restaurants. Label them 1 through 10. Highlight them a certain color. Let's say yellow. On the map, you're going to do 10 little yellow circles labeled 1 through 10. And you're gonna start to see where things lay out in respect to where you're staying. So maybe this place you found that you're super interested in going to is only a mile away. Great. Maybe there was a place that you're kind of on the fence about that is 10 miles away and you're only there for a few days and you don't have a car. So maybe you're gonna cross that one off. So this is a great way to work through, okay, what is doable, what is nearby, what can I accommodate in a day? These 5 places are 5 miles away over here, and these 5 places are 5 miles away over here. So maybe one day we're gonna hit everything that's over here, and the next day we'll do everything in this section. That way we're not ping-ponging between the two. I'm about saving time. We like to plan our trips that way. We look at a certain area and do everything in that area in that day. And if we like it enough, yes, we'll go back to do things the next day, but we tend to really just hit a section a day. Step number 5 for me is actually a newer thing. I'm in a bachelorette party this summer that is in Montreal, and the bride's sister started a Google document for all of us girls to be a part of. And I had used it for school projects, but I never even thought about utilizing it for planning a trip, which is turned out to be amazing and really organized. So everyone can log in, whether it be on their phone or computer, and they can add their ideas. We've made to-do lists, to-buy lists, you know, what we're gonna do each day. We've broken it down by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Everything's very planned. Everything that we're buying for the actual party, you can sign up for things. It's just so organized. We decided we were going to Nashville. I told my husband, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do a Google Doc and I'll share it with you. And we could both view it at the same time. He could see what I was working on. He could add things himself. And then when we got to Nashville, it was as simple as pulling it up on my phone to see what we were gonna do that day. It lets you do like little bullet points, just like a Word document. I really liked it, and I would recommend that, especially for someone that doesn't want to carry around like a piece of paper or an agenda, you know. It's really realistic for today's world to just have it on an app on your phone. Something that I like to add in at the bottom of our Google Doc is rainy day activities, because you can't predict the weather and you don't want to be just stuck at your hotel or Airbnb just because it's raining or there's bad weather. Museums, indoor activities, have a list. Maybe it's something you want to do regardless of the weather, and maybe it's something you want to add just in case the weather's bad. And then number 6 is just kind of a cluster of thoughts that I had at the end of writing this all out. Just things to keep in mind, really. The tools that I've just discussed that I use for our trips, they act as a guide, not as a rubric. I think some people will watch this and be like, wow, she really does everything that she lists out for each day. But it's not really the case. So for example, when we went to Nashville, I planned out each day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I had a breakfast idea, a lunch idea, and a dinner idea, and then activities to do in between. But did we hit all those places? No. Did we hit a lot of them? Yes. Did we find some new places too along the way? Yes. What this way of planning avoids, it avoids what I used to see way too often. Everyone sitting in their hotel room, wherever they are. Oh, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? And everyone gets on their phone, and what do you know? 45 minutes have gone by, and maybe we've found one place to go to dinner. My way is, oh, so it's Friday night? Here's 4 options. What do you feel like? You feel like this one, or this one? You know, and you pick from that. Or maybe when it's just my husband and I, it's really easy because we know what each other likes. So I was able to pick the breakfast, lunch, and dinner place each day, and yeah, we stuck to it each day because it just worked for us. We don't get upset if we don't make it to something, or we go somewhere that's not on our list, but it really saves us time when people say, how do you fit so much into a trip? This is how we do it. We plan out as much of it ahead of time as we're able to. It will really save you in the end. Another tip is just, you are only in control of so much. So say that there is this place that you looked up online and you loved it so much and you had your hopes up. You were going to go to this place and get that Instagram photo. Oh, but a tornado just hit Nashville and it's gone. You're not in control of that. Just let it go, move on, find something else on your list that you wanted to do, and just get on with it. Try something new. This is something we always stick to. Even if it's as simple as trying a new food, trying a new drink, trying a new adventure. Joe got to ride a little motorcycle in Mexico because I said, this is the best way to see this island, and I hope you're up for it. And you know, he's such a great sport, he just goes in and does it. So he just had to hop on and freaking own it so that the guy knew that he knew how to drive it, because we could have just lost our whole day right there. So he tried something new and it paid off. Joe scootered us around an entire island for a day, while the rest of our people on our cruise were staying on the ship or booking through a cruise approved excursion, and we just went off on the side of the road, got this motorcycle, and literally just stopped wherever we wanted throughout the entire day, and it was incredible. Were we a little nervous? Yes. Was it something new? Yes. But listen to me talk about it. It is a memory we will always have. This is going to be so obvious coming from me, but document it. iPhones and smartphones take amazing photos. Say you're traveling somewhere that you don't have Wi-Fi and you can't be on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, still take the photos. I know people are bad about printing them. You don't have to print them. Keep them on your phone. Having a bad day? Look through your tropical honeymoon from 2000 whatever. You know, it just, something as simple as that can make for great memories. If you like doing videos, do videos. I've seen people do a drone of their vacation. Vlog it, talk about it, blog it online, you know, tell people about it, recommend places. This is how I get inspired for my trips. It's people's photos, people's personal experiences, talking about these places, and just really making you excited for your trip. This is how you make memories, because someday you might not remember it in your head, but the moment you see that video, you hear yourself talk about it, or just look through the photos, it comes back to you and you remember how amazing it was. That's just something I'm a huge believer in. I've always had a love for photographs, and then we started our GoPro videos and now this, and it's just something that I always look forward to. Now, with everything going on right now in today's world with COVID-19, I know that it's unrealistic to book a trip, but maybe just take these tips and, you know, tuck them away, save them for a rainy day when you need a vacation. It helps make the most out of your trip. No matter what type of person you are, You can try to say, oh, I'm not a planner, or oh, that's so hard and time consuming. And I'm not gonna lie, it is time consuming, but it makes your vacation worth it. I cannot stress that enough. And it is not hard. Time consuming, yes. Hard, no. You do not need to be a planner to do this. You do not need experience. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. It's just a very strong passion of mine, and I love to make the most out of our trips no matter what. And this doesn't have to be for a long vacation. It can be just for a weekend. Like the bachelorette party in Montreal, that is just a weekend, but we almost have it planned out completely, which is incredible. So thank you for listening. If you couldn't tell, this is definitely my passion. I love planning anything. I think in a past life I was probably a wedding planner because it combines my two favorite things, weddings and planning, but somehow I ended up in the medical field and imaging. So someone explain that to me. Maybe someday I'll have a little side gig doing wedding planning. But for now, I will just stick to planning our trips. So yeah, feel free to comment below with any tips you have for me. I'm always open to trying new things, planning different ways, or if you have any questions for me or even want help planning, let me know. So when I say I live for this, I live for this. I love researching and looking into places and making lists. I know it sounds so weird, but I am not sure what my next video is going to be, so if you have any ideas for me, let me know. Joe and I are getting pre-approved again to look at houses, so maybe we'll find one soon, and then I can do like some home renovation stuff because I do like that as well. But for now, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching and supporting me as we start this new channel.